I had the opportunity to play for both Lombardi and Landry at the same time. I don't know of any other player in the history of pro football who's had that chance. Because I played defense for the Cardinals, they thought I could play defense for the Giants. So I went to the defensive meetings, which were conducted by Tom Landry. I was also a tight end, a backup tight end, so I went to the offensive meetings, which were conducted by Vince Lombardi. I remember going to meetings when Lombardi conducted the meetings and thinking, I hope this is not over soon, because he was so entertaining in the way and had such belief in the way he presented things to us. I remember a particular occasion asking how the tight end is supposed to block a linebacker on this particular play. And he said, you take him where he wants to go. And given that kind of choice, it was much easier to execute. So he was one of those people. He made you believe that his way was the right way and the way you'd be successful. And that's the way he presented it. Tom Landry was not the dynamic speaker that Lombardi was, but he was so convincing in the way he diagrammed and sold what you do on defense that he was just as effective, I think. Maybe even more so. Lombardi, I think, was a much more dynamic speaker than Landry, but Landry, with confidence, made you think that if you did it his way, you'd win. And Lombardi did the same thing, only he was louder. That's a piece of the goalpost from the game that I kicked the field goal against the Cleveland Browns in 1958 to beat the Browns and put us into the so-called greatest game ever played. I think if either one of them coached in pro football today, particularly, they'd both still be successful because they were so sure that their way was the way that would work. And they presented it in such a confident way that they made you think that it would work. And it usually did. Both lived by the principles of faith, family, and football in that order. And yet they were trying to coach us and tell us, and they set such a good example, I think. Neither man compromised those principles ever under any situation, either Lombardi or Landry. I think both were such role models, and both had such a convincing way of presenting their ideas about defense in Landry's case and offense in Lombardi's case. They were both so convincing and so sure that their way was the only way that it had a profound effect on my life.